Magandang araw mga kaibigang oso! Naririto muli ang inyong mathematics teacher na si Sir Richard upang magbigay sa inyo ng kaalaman patungkol sa mathematics. At ang lesson natin para sa araw na ito ay solving quadratic equation by using quadratic formula. Pero bago ang lahat, kung hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel, ay iniimbitahan ko kayo to click subscribe, click the notification bell, and choose all para lagi kang updated sa next video upload ko. Para sa ating lesson for today, ang ating objective is to solve quadratic equations by using quadratic formula. Ngunit bago ang lahat, i-recall ulit natin ang mga methods na maaaring gamitin to find the roots of quadratic equation. So meron tayong 4 na methods. Una dito, ang extracting the square root, factoring, completing the square, at quadratic formula. Na sa mga naunang videos na aking in-upload sa aking YouTube channel, ay naituro ko na ang paggamit ng extracting the square root, factoring, at completing the square. So ang huli nating pagtutuunan ng pansin ay ang quadratic formula. Na dapat natin din i-recall ang pag-determine ng value of A, B, and C from the quadratic equation. So let's try to determine the value of A, B, and C in quadratic equation given these 4 items. For letter A, we have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Our A is 2. Our B is positive 5 or simply 5, and our C is negative 3. For letter B, we have x squared minus 3x equals 0. Our A is 1, nakatabi ng x squared. Ang ating B ay negative 3, nakatabi ng x. At yung ating C ay 0 dahil wala naman tayong number alone. For letter C, we have 7x squared plus 7 equals 0. Ang ating A ay 7, ang ating B ay 0 dahil wala naman tayong x sa ating problem. Then our C is 7. For letter D, 11x squared equals 0. Our A is 11. Since wala tayong makikitang x at number alone from the problem, therefore, our B would be 0 and our C ay 0 din. So, knowing on how to determine the values of A, B, and C, we can now solve the quadratic equation using quadratic formula. So, let's have to know the quadratic formula. So, the formula is x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a na siyang nagmula sa ating quadratic equation na ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, hayaan nyo sana na ipakita ako ang conversion nito sa mga susunod pang video upload na aking ibibigay. Para hindi tayo malito, ang gagamitin lamang natin ay ang formula using the values of A, B, and C from the given quadratic equation. Na kung saan ang ating quadratic equation must be equated to 0. So let's now use the quadratic formula in example number 1. We have x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. And this is our given. Kung i-inspect natin ang ating given, this is already equated to 0, and we can now get the value of A, B, and C. So, determining the values of A, B, and C from the given, our A is 1. Since walang number, nakatabi ang x squared, that is represented as 1. Ang katabi ng x natin will serve as our B, so that is B is equal to 5. And yung number alone will represent as our C, and that is negative 14. Given the values of A, B, and C, we can now use the formula. So, I suggest na lagi ninyong kopyahin ang formula para mas madali nyong ma-memorize ito. So by substituting the values of a, b, and c to the formula, we can now have x is equal to negative times 5 plus minus 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 14 all over 2 times 1. So I suggest sa pag-substitute ay lagi nating sasamahan ng parentheses para lang sa gayon ay hindi tayo mamali sa pagsagot gamit ang quadratic formula. So we have to simplify. Negative times 5 is negative 5 plus minus, copy, then square root of 5 squared is 25. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times negative 14 again, then you'll have positive 56. All over 2 times 1, you have 2. Then simplify it more. So copy negative 5 plus minus square root of 25 plus 56 is 81 and square root of 81 is 9 all over 2. That is how we simplify this item. Then to get the final answers for the values of x, negative 5 plus 9 is 4 divided by 2, we have 2. Negative 5 minus 9, that is negative 14, divide by 2, then we have negative 7. And the answer for the problem is the solution set x such that x is equal to 2 and negative 7. For example number 2, the given item is 3x squared minus x plus 5 equals 7. Kung titignan natin ang ating problem, this item ay hindi pa naka-equate kay 0. Therefore, ang gagamitin natin ay APE for 7 ibabalik sa kaliwa. So, it will become 7, ilipat sa kabila, magiging negative. Pero meron tayong 5. 5 minus 7, magkakaroon na tayo ng negative 2. So, ang magiging resulta after applying APE ay 3x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. Given this, we can now determine the values of a, b, and c. A is 3, b is negative 1, and c is negative 2. Then copy the formula and substitute. So x is equal to negative, then the value of p is negative 1, kaya naging ganito ang kinalabasan, plus minus, copy, square root of b squared will become negative 1 quantity squared minus 4, a is 3, so I substitute 3, and c is negative 2, so I substituted negative 2, all over 2 times the value of a, which is 3. And that is how we substitute to the formula. And then we now solve. X is equal to negative times negative 1, we have positive 1, plus minus, I just copy. Then let's now solve the radicand or the inner part of the square root sign. So negative 1 squared is 1. Then negative 4 times 3 is negative 12 times negative 2, you have positive 24. All over 2 times 3, you have 6. Then let's simplify it more. So we have x is equal to copy 1 plus minus square root of 1 plus 24 is 25. Then we have square root of 25, it will become 5 all over 6. And that is how we simplify the item. To find the final answers, we have 1 plus 5, that is 6, divided by 6, so meron tayong 1. 1 minus 5, that is negative 4, divided by 6, get the lowest term of negative 4 over 6. Ang magiging final answer for that is negative 2 over 3. And the answer for the problem is the solution set x such that x is equal to 1 and negative 2 over 3. For example number 3, we have negative x squared minus 3x minus 6 equals 5x minus 8. This is our given. So as you have noticed on the given, hindi pa po siya equated to 0. So lahat ng term na nasa right side, ililipat sa left side. So ang magiging sagot dapat natin ay negative x squared minus 8x plus 2 equals 0. So 5x nilipat sa kabila, magiging negative 5x. Then, pagsamahin with negative 3x, kaya naging negative 8x. Negative 8 nilipat sa kabila, magiging positive 8. Pagsamahin with negative 6, magiging positive 2. Kaya ang lumabas ay negative x squared minus 8x plus 2 equals 0. And that is by the application of A, B, E. Then, we can now determine the values of A, B, and C. Our A from the given is negative 1, B is negative 8, and C is 2. Then, copy the quadratic formula. So, we have to substitute it now. So, x is equal to negative times the value of B, which is negative 8, plus minus square root of B, which is negative 8, quantity square, minus 4 times A, which is negative 1, times C, which is 2, all over 2 times A, and A is negative 1. Then we solve. Negative times negative 8, you have positive 8, plus minus square root of negative 8 squared is 64, negative 4 times negative 1, that is positive 4, times 2, you have positive 8, all over 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Then, let's simplify the radicand, which is the inner part of the square root. So, 64 plus 8, you have square root of 72. And square root of 72 ay wala sa listahan na ginawa natin nung nakaraan. So, ano gagawin natin para lumabas ang final answer? We are going to factor it out. So, in factoring, dalawa lang po ang ating kailangan. Yung isa ay perfect square at yung isa ay non-perfect square, or much better to have a prime number. So, ang perfect square na pwedeng i-divide kay 72 ay 36. Then, 72 divided by 36, ang matitira ay 2. So, if we're going to multiply 36 times 2, babalik tayo kay 72. So, after this factor, isimplify natin bawat isa. Square root of 36 is 6, and square root of 2 is 2. Then, isulat na natin sa susunod na item. So, we have 8 plus minus 6 square root of 2 over negative 2. Then, isimplify pa natin kasi meron pa tayong pwedeng i-divide. 8 divided by negative 2, you have negative 4. Copy plus minus. 6 divided by 2, you have 3. Then, copy square root of 2. For this, hindi po natin pwedeng i-divide ang radicand kay whole number kasi hindi po sila match. So, ang magiging final result natin is negative 4 plus minus 3 square root of 2. And this is how we simplify the problem. Then, pwede na natin paghiwalayin ang plus at minus so that the solution set x such that x is equal to negative 4 plus 3 square root of 2 and negative 4 minus 3 square root of 2. And this is our answer. Or, pwede naman natin ibigay as the final answer yung negative 4 plus minus 3 square root of 2. For the last problem, we have negative 2x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0, which is our given. And kung titignan natin nung ibinigay, this is already equated to 0 at wala naman na tayong pagsasama-samahin pa sa left side. Then we can now determine the values of A, B, and C. Our A is negative 2, our B is 2, our C is negative 3. Then copy the formula, then substitute. So negative, copy, the value of B is 2, plus minus square root of the value of B again is 2 quantity square minus 4 times the value of A, which is negative 2, value of C, which is negative 3, all over 2 times A, which is negative 2. Then we simplify. Negative times 2, you have negative 2 plus minus square root of 2 square is 4. Negative 4 times negative 2, that is positive 8. Positive 8 times negative 3, you have negative 24. All over 2 times negative 2, that is negative 4. Then simplify natin yung radicand. 4 minus 24, you'll have square root of negative 20. And negative 20 or 20 is not among the list. Kaya ang gagawin natin ulit ay hanapin ang factor. Ang square root of 20 ay pwede lamang i-divide by 4. So, ang magiging factors natin ay negative 4 times 5. So, negative 20 divided by negative 4, ang resulta ay 5. So, the factors of square root of negative 20 ay square root of negative 4 times 5. Then, simplify natin bawat isa. Square root of negative or negative term, that is I. Square root of 4, that is 2. Square root of 5, wala na siya sa listahan because 5 is a prime number, kaya mananatili na siya as a square root of 5. Therefore, square root of negative 20 is equal to 2i square root of 5. Then, sulat natin. X now is equal to negative 2 plus minus 2i square root of 5 na nakuha kanina all over negative 4. Then, pwede pa natin i-divide yung mga terms na whole number so that we can have negative 1 plus minus I square root of 5 over 2. So, 2 divided by 2, that is 1. 2 divided by 2, that will become 1. So, di na natin sinulat because automatically, meron tayong 1 dito. Negative 4 divided by 2, that is negative 2. So, bakit natin i-divide ang terms na to by 2? Dahil ang lahat ng whole number na to ay common by number 2. So, we can now have this as the final answer, negative 1 plus minus I square root of 5 over negative 2. Dahil hindi naman na natin pwedeng pagsamahin ang terms sa numerator dahil ito ay real number at ito ay imaginary number. Ang pwede na lamang natin gawin ay paghiwalayin ang plus at minus. So, the solution set x such that x is equal to negative 1 plus I square root of 5 over negative 2 at negative 1 minus I square root of 5 over negative 2. And that will be your answer. So, ano ngayon ang pinakamadali sa apat na methods na aking nabanggit? Para sa akin bilang mathematics teacher, ang maisasuggest ko kung ang pinapahanap lang naman sa inyo ay roots of the quadratic equation is to always use the quadratic formula. Why? Dahil paulit-ulit lang naman ang steps na ating ginagawa. Kailangan mo lang maisulat into the form na equated sa 0. After that, i-determine ang values of A, B, and C, kopyahin ang quadratic formula, i-substitute ng maayos, i-simplify hanggang lumabas ang lowest term, and that will be now the final answer. So, mas madali para sa akin ang quadratic formula. Pero, yan pa rin ay didepende kung ano at saan kayo mas nadadalian. So, yun lamang ang maaari kong maibahagi on how to get the roots of quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Kung merong items na medyo malabo para sa inyo, i-comment nyo na sa baba. At kung meron naman kayong suggestion on how to get the roots using quadratic formula in an easiest manner, comment nyo na din. And please do not forget to like and share the video para mas marami pa tayong mga kabataan na maturuan at mabigyan ng leksyon on how to get the roots of quadratic equation. As usual, let me end this video tutorial by a Bible verse. Let God direct your steps. This is from Proverbs chapter 3 verse 6. Na ang ibig sabihin para sa akin, hayaan natin ang poong may kapal ang siyang magbigay ng direksyon at gumabay sa ating buhay. At ako naman ay nakakasiguro na kapag ito ang nangyari, tayo ay mapupunta sa maayos at ligtas na buhay. So yun lamang at maraming salamat. Keep safe and goodbye!